kids are literally a hot mess.
No, they beautiful. They're so beautiful.
No, they're beautiful. They're great. I'm just wondering if all kids are like this. Question this daily.
Okay, so I'm gonna go to the very beginning. Motherhood is what caused me to change my career in the Navy. I got pregnant on my honeymoon, turned up. Okay, like yes,
A little
and
bit, a little
yeah,
bit.
just a little bit. We was in Miami, so we was doing stuff. I was like, yeah, I'm married now. You know what I'm saying? So
Not. Hi, everybody. We are back for another session of In the Black. This is session number 2. Hey, Triel, how are you
hey,
feeling?
Janelle, what's Gucci? I'm good. How you feeling?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm excited for this next session. I'm excited for this conversation because I feel like it's going to be a good one.
Yeah, yeah, I think so. I think so. I believe so. Let's get into it, Janelle. Let's go into it.
So today we want to discuss motherhood. We feel like this is going to be a foundational topic because we are both mothers, and being mothers and entrepreneurs, both having both roles is very difficult. So we want to have a conversation around that and give you guys some power plays on
Power
finding some
play.
solution. Yes, power plays. So Triel, you told us last episode you have 4 kids,
Yes.
boys, girls.
I have 2 boys and 2 girls.
Ooh, perfect. A nice balance.
Yes. The
I
ages. My daughter,
yeah.
because my daughter had just turned 10
Yes,
yesterday.
yes, yes.
So I have an 11-year-old son. My daughter, she's 11, and I have a set of twins, boy, girl. They're 8.
Okay, so you have an 11-year-old son, 10-year-old daughter, and then
Hmm.
twins,
Yes.
twins, 8-year-olds. Okay. And the boy girl twins then.
Yes.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, I have two, and I have a 9-year-old boy and a 4-year-old girl. They are a hot mess. My kids are literally a hot mess.
No, they beautiful. They're so
No,
beautiful.
no, they're beautiful. They're great. I'm just wondering if all kids are like this. I question this daily. I do. I don't, these new kids are just, we
Woo.
would never, we would never. Okay. That's all I can say. So, I would love to hear about your motherhood journey and then, how you feel. That was a big
No, like,
sigh.
ooh, because they've been a girl, I've been a journey and a half. Okay.
Yeah, we could
Go
just share a
ahead.
little bit of it and then kind of what you struggle with, what you deal with as a mom and entrepreneur and all of that jazz.
Wow. Okay, so I'm gonna go to the very beginning. Motherhood is what caused me to change my career in the Navy.
Mhm.
I got pregnant on my honeymoon, turned up. Okay, like yes.
A little
And
bit, a little
yeah,
bit.
just a little bit. We was in Miami, so we was doing stuff. I was like, yeah, I'm married now, you know what I'm saying? So
I'm not married.
I'm married now. So anyway, around 5 months into my pregnancy, I got a call from my OB in the military that there is some. Well, it was like not 5 months. It was like 18 weeks ish, and they was like, there's some concerns they have with the development of my child. So they sent me over to a cardiologist, a specialist from the Air Force, and she was amazing. She was like, okay, so we're going to do something called an echo, which is a more extensive ultrasound to see the fetus, the child in the womb.
Mhm.
And the heart wasn't developing and properly. So she raised some concerns and she was like, there is um what they're monitoring, what they're seeing is beyond the scope of what they can do medically in the Hampton Roads. So I'm gonna have to relocate. So I was like, well, where's the best place for the surgery that they were preparing me for? It was like this hypoplastic something. And there was like, well, where are you from? I'm like, Buford. It was like, do you want to go to Charleston? I was like, is that the best? Is MUSC the best? She was like, the best is chopped. I was like, wait, what? Oh, I'm sorry, sucky acronym. But it's Children's Hospital of Philadelphia. I'm like, so Philly, here we go, take me to Philly. So I relocated to
Mhm.
Philly and around 37 weeks when he was full term, they wanted to induce me because he was due in October, but September is when they gave me that induction date, I guess, or induced date or whatever. And I was like, I really don't want to have to go through that. So I just pray that he comes naturally. And that's what happened. We were in the mall. I think it was like the King of Prussia Mall, and I'm in labor. Didn't know it at the time, but like, boom, I'm like, here we go. So once SJ was delivered, he had heart surgery, like they said. It just wasn't with the surgery that they had in mind. So they flew a doctor from India, 3 days. It took about 3 days for him to get there. And boom, SJ is here, SJ as well. Then when I was like done with my 6 year contract in the military, what extended me was while I was about to get out, I was pregnant with my daughter. So now I'm like, oh man, like it's kind of like back to back in a sense. And so I extended my contract for another like year and a half. And then I delivered my daughter and she's amazing. Around 8 months with her though, she started suffering for like febrile seizures, and that went up until she was like about 3, and then she had like another one when she was around 7, and that one was the scary one, but all is well, she's great. And then while I got out the military in 2016, about 2 weeks later, I found out I was pregnant again. But this pregnancy, it felt different. I was just like, it's something different. I think I'm having twins. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm,
And
mhm.
lo and behold, when I got my ultrasound, it was like 12, 13 weeks or something. And they were like, and I'm like, They were like, yeah, baby A, baby B. And I just bust out laughing. And I was like, all right, cool. So when I gave birth to them, it was premature. My husband was working nights and I was exhausted. No, my husband was working 12-hour days and still like overtime. And I'm all exhausted. And my son SJ jumps on my back because he wants to ride a horse, and that sent me into labor,
Yes,
preterm
yes.
labor. And I gave birth to my twins in the hospital via C-section. And
Mhm.
my doctor did not listen to me, so I felt violated, but I ended up getting a C-section and that was a whole nother type of recovery. But those are how my kids came into the world. Everything is well on my end now. They're great. They're athletic, and they're doing really, really well in school. I really am blessed to have these children. And so the motherhood and like those stories, it impacts the way that I even do business because like the hospitals, the all of those different things, like it was a lot in having to manage it. And I kind of like used work as a distraction, in a
Mhm.
sense. And it helped me power through some of the things that I went through. And now that they're older, now that they're, pretty much their little individual selves, we have them in all kinds of sports, all different type of activities. So we have like every day of the week except Sunday and Wednesday filled with activities and all of that kind of stuff like that. So I just want to make sure that I make room and make space for them to watch them continue to thrive and just become the beautiful humans that they're becoming. So that's my motherhood journey.
I love that. I love that.
That was a lot.
No, that it what I was thinking as you were telling that story is the epidemic, as they can call it what they want, but it's an epidemic of Black women and their struggles to have kids and dying on the tables. That's literally what I was thinking the whole time. I don't have an exact same story, but I do have a story. When with my son, I had a normal pregnancy, everything was fine. And I went to go into labor. My water broke, and they decided that they were going to give me a C-section. And they kept saying, I'm going to give you a C-section. We're going to give you a C-section. And I was like, I'm not having a C-section. They prepped me. I was prepped on the bed for a C-section.
Oh, they had
Yeah.
shaved you up and all that?
No, no, no. They had
Oh,
the whatever blanket or whatever sheets or whatever. They had to have special
oh,
stuff. I was laying on
yeah.
top of all that, but I was like, you're not cutting me. There was no reason. They kept saying baby's heart rate was dropping. They're monitoring it, but I just kept praying. I was like, baby, we're talking to baby the whole time. Baby comes naturally. Baby is fine, but his bilirubin levels are high.
Okay.
So he has to stay under the lights and be tested extra. Well, there was a nurse in there who decided to get extra tests that was not necessary on him, and she really didn't want him to leave the hospital. So I just kept feeling like something's not right. So he was in the hospital a week, and they let me stay longer because my aunt works at the hospital. So they let me stay until basically 6 days. And
Okay.
I just basically stayed in the room. I was already discharged. They just let me use the room and stay with my baby.
Wow.
But I was like, something is not right. Something is not right. And so my aunt came back to work. She was off on vacation for her birthday. And she came back to work and she was like, here, I'm going to stay with the baby. Go home and get some sleep because I had not slept. I was just with my baby. So I went home. I came back and the lady, we're trying to discharge, and the lady took 6 hours to discharge us. And she's holding my son and she's like, you would have just fit so well in with my grandbabies. She's a Caucasian woman. She was trying to kidnap my child. My aunt gets on the phone and she calls her coworker, and her coworker is like, "Oh, you don't know, such and such is on psych meds. She can't give Tylenol to the babies." And you have her in with the babies? That was my experience with my son. So I'm hyper paranoid, and he knows that I am, about him getting kidnapped. Because there have been several incidents after that of people like, "Oh, can I have your baby? Can I hold your baby? Can I? Oh, are you gonna?" One lady, he was a baby, like a year old, less than a year old. She's like, "Are you gonna be rich when you're older?" Lady, you're old. Get away from my child. People are weird. That was my story with my son. Yes. My daughter, I'm pregnant with her. They're doing ultrasounds, all this type of stuff. They're like, your blood pressure's high. Your blood pressure's high. You're high risk. Um, one lady, they took me into the back. The nurse is like, look, your blood pressure's too high. If you come back here next week and your blood pressure's still this high, I'm putting you on blood pressure medication and I'm taking that baby out of you at 37 weeks. No, we have to be an advocate for ourselves. I immediately changed doctors, went to a whole nother doctor, and that had what is it called, like doulas and all
Yeah.
that type of stuff, and nothing, no high risk, no high blood pressure, no problems, had her naturally.
Wow. Wow.
So
Wow.
they're trying to charge insurance extra money, they're trying to make you go through extra tests. Yeah, that was my experience. I was in labor. I stayed home. I was 8 centimeters when I got to the hospital. They
Oh,
said, you
girl.
could have had this baby at
Yeah.
home. Why did you come to the hospital? You could have had the baby at home. You were almost there. Within an hour of getting to the hospital, she came. It was so the best, so simple.
Wow.
So that was my journey into motherhood. And it was just like, it is so unnecessary to treat people that way. It's so unnecessary. From your experience to my experience, to, I'm sure other people's experience, it is so unnecessary to treat mothers that way.
With my twins, I was not keen, or what's another word for keen? Like I'm too fond though. Like I don't know enough, but I wasn't too sure about him. I had my suspicions with this particular doctor, this OB. Mind you, I had military. And so the twins were my first like civilian experience of
Mm-hmm.
childbirthing. And it just been something off with cuz, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And when I told him I would want to have my children natural, they were like, the twins naturally, they were like, well, one isn't in the right position, one whatever. And I'm like, well, if one move out the way, then he'll find a space, you know what I'm saying? Whatever woo woo. But against my will, because I said no. I don't know. It's like he gave this the lady for the OR, I mean the prepare me to go into the OR, a look, and all I know is I was going in the back and I was getting rolled in the back. So my voice was taken away during that experience.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a C-section and I suffered silently for a while with the recovery. One, because once the children were delivered and I'm in that like post-op, like my blood
Mm-hmm.
pressure dropped. I'm throwing up like nothing but like fluids, you know what I mean? I'm throwing up. I can't even see my kids. Um the way I was stitched wasn't that great. So like the scar that I have is always like a reminder of him, and the fact that afterwards, like a year later, this doctor is now in prison. You know what I mean? It was very traumatic. And I was just like, you know what? Like, even if I probably wanted to give birth to another child, I was just like, I'm good. Like it's just black women in the healthcare and the whole like I know it's a lot, and I was just like I'm good. If I have another child, it would definitely be like a water birth, natural situation. Like I'm stay keep me away. So it's just yeah, that's mm. I agree.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Ooh,
It's horrible.
yeah.
Horrible.
But gigs, on
Okay.
that
Whew,
note,
that
I'm
was
sorry. We're
heavy.
gonna talk
Let's
about that
let that go.
offline. Like, yes,
Yes.
stick it to the topics. Let's go. Let's transition.
Let's that was heavy. That was heavy. Sorry, guys. We didn't mean to go that
Yeah,
deep.
yeah, we go kind of deep, but let's lighten the mood just a little bit, Let's get it.
Yes, let's lighten the mood a little bit. So we want to discuss. So Triel has 4 kids. I have 2 kids. It's a lot, right? And we're running businesses. We got a lot going on. So I want to talk about how you balance all of these things, Triel. How are you juggling motherhood? How are we cooking meals? How are we doing all of these things? Because
Ooh,
it's a lot. Cleaning house. This a lot.
it is. And see, because my kids are like now finally at that age where they can like do a chore or two, even though the dishes probably will still be a little greasy or whatever.
Mm.
I'm learning one, motherhood requires a lot of grace. And
Mhm.
one of the ways that I like can balance the day is throughout the week, every letter begins with something. So like M is marinara Monday. We're gonna do some type of pasta, spaghetti, lasagna, the little easy one pot type of meal situation. Two is Taco Tuesdays, go figure. Wednesday is like wacky wing Wednesday or something. So we either do like wings and things, fries or something, or like burgers or something. Um Thursday is throwback, so we might do either like breakfast or something simple, or let them figure out a little meal or whatever. And then Friday and Saturday, Sunday is like we cook, decent meals and like, all that good stuff, like a home cooked meal. And that's how I can function on what day of the week it is, because sometimes you can forget. And how I can like meal prep in my mind, like just by the days and stuff that we provide for them. So that's one of the things that I do to balance like just the food situation. What about you?
Yeah, none of that happens in my household. No, no. I told you guys, she's like next level. It's not happening over here. So I give myself all the grace every single day. So
Yeah.
it depends on my work schedule because I have clients different days. So different things happen on different days. And then it depends on my level of exhaustion, right? How
True.
tired am I if we're gonna cook or not? So I think I cook maybe 3 days out of the week. I
Okay.
normally cook on Sundays, so I try to do a big meal on Sundays that lasts till Monday.
Okay.
Tuesday, we might go out to eat because they have kids eat free on Tuesdays. So
Ooh, noted.
we
Noted.
might go out to eat. Um, and then, like I said, depends on my level of exhaustion if I cook or not. Like today, I'm probably gonna cook. So, my day is kind of like a lighter day. So I've already pulled the meat out and stuff like that. So I give myself all the grace. If I'm not
Yeah.
able to cook, hey, we're gonna go grab something. If not, have cooked the day before. I use a crock pot very regularly. I love a good crock pot
Mm.
because it makes my life so much easier. I just throw everything into the crock pot. It tastes great. Make chili, make whatever.
I made that
Throw it
last
in the
night.
crock pot. Yeah, throw it in the crock pot and go about my business, right? So,
Yeah.
but again, that also comes with me ordering food online and making sure that I have everything, all the ingredients that I need to throw in the crock pot, right? So pre-prepping and thinking about that ahead of time, like what meals do I want to have for the week or what 2 or 3 meals do I want to have? But yeah,
Mm.
that's how I do it. I give myself all the grace. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. They're still going to eat. They're still going to be good.
Yeah, period. And then I like the fact that, they kids, so they can kind of get away with some of the stuff, that we probably can't get away with. You know what I'm saying? I think like right now, because you said your kid is
4.
9 and 4. So now that my kids are 10, 11, and like around 8, they're pretty much like learning how to use the air fryer. Like that's the one thing I'll let them use, the air fryer and the microwave.
Mm-hmm.
But we never have leftovers. Like I know
Mm-hmm.
they're like big kids, like they're like tall. Like my 11-year-old is like almost 5'3" right now, And so like they're growing. We never have leftovers. They're always probably eating seconds, and they're always like running me out of house in a hole trying to eat everything. And I'm just like, oh Lord, like my grocery bill is so high.
No,
It,
we're getting to that point too. Like we're literally getting to that point. It's like stop eating. I'm
you
sorry.
know?
I'm trying to get this man a job. He's talking about breeding hamsters. That's yes, he's come up with them. He started selling them at school and he doesn't even have a hamster yet. I'm like, dude, you're not. He's like, so I found out that you need a male and a female. He was like, did you know that you and dad breed before? I said, oh, we did. I told you my kids are a hot mess. You didn't believe me. They're a hot mess. Uh, he's told the teacher, he's like, breeding hamsters. No, we're
Yeah.
not your business, sir. No.
Lord, Lord. Okay, okay. So, one of the things we're going to discuss as well is like setting expectations. Right? I don't even know how you set an expectation of reading hamsters, but like you said, giving yourself some grace. But like, what are some of like the realistic expectations you have around, parenting, motherhood? Like, what is something that somebody can take a nugget or something from just from your routine?
If your kids' rooms are a mess, sometimes you need to close the door. That's that realistic expectation that they're not going to clean their room every day. They're not, it's not going to be to the level of cleanliness that you want it to be. Your house is not going to be picture perfect every single day. If you want to choose one room that's going to be to the level that you want it to be, this is my room, that's to the level that I want it to be for the most part, then that's it. That's your safe space. Set that expectation that life is not going to be the way that you want it to be all the time. What
Mm.
about you?
I know I'm just like noted, like, cause girl, yes, they on that side of the house, they room door be shut, but when they get home, no electronics, no nothing, no play with me. I one of the realistic expectations I did with my kids, and I was like, I really need to have a sit down because mommy works from home now, and I need y'all to help me out. And I told them these are the rules of the house, and my number one rule is don't let yesterday come into today. Like I hate for my yesterday to come into. I don't like dealing with yesterday stuff in my because I
Mhm.
feel like it's a thief of my time. You know what I mean? So do your stuff. Just do your stuff. I don't care if it's not done well. Just do the stuff. I'll come up and clean up, light whatever, whatever. But my realistic expectation is I don't really want to get my day started until about 9, 10 o'clock. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, my mornings are going to be for me getting everything in order when they leave, so that I can get everything safe. Because they run out the house, it's a mess. They got the ironing board up. We try that whole, prepare at night. It doesn't work. It doesn't stick. So like once they're leaving and stuff, I'm like, all right, this is the time from like 7:30 to 8 o'clock for me to wipe off the counters and all of that kind of stuff, just so I can have that. But yeah, I'll shut the room doors and keep my little cozy corner that I have, my little growth corner, which we'll talk about in other sessions, just to escape as well. So I think that's what I got.
I'm over here like ironing board. What is that? We pull out the dryer, we hang it up. There's some Downy
Oh
wrinkle release. You better spray it down.
yes, no, they
Ironing
gotta
board.
iron it.
Wow. I'm telling you, super mom over here because I'm not ironing
No,
nothing.
woo. Because my children be trying it, boy. They be trying it. Okay, like y'all not about to be wrinkled. I be like, y'all representing us when we go outside. So like y'all got to do better, man. Me personally, I don't use everything for me is form fitting. Everything is a tight or a jogger, so I don't gotta worry about it. But them, y'all ain't about to be
Like I
wrinkled.
said, pull it out the dryer, hang it up, spray them down. Have a good day.
Girl, okay, so let's I'm gonna try to go. I'm trying to steal tag. I'm trying to steal tag. So, what are some like productivity hacks that you have as a mompreneur?
That one right there. Spray your kids down with Downy wrinkle release and let it go. Yep. I'm not.
That's a good hack. That's a good hack. A
Yeah.
good hack that I learned from you is using Chat GPT to make like my grocery list and stuff. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, yeah, that's a
So
good one.
like,
Well, here's one even better though. Here's one even better. All you do is they on Amazon and Walmart, you can type in a recipe and they'll put everything into your cart. Even Kroger does it too. They'll put it into your cart. Like from Food Network, you can pick the recipes there
yeah.
and they put the items that you need in your cart. So then you can go back and like, okay, I have salt already, delete. I have pepper already, delete it out your cart and then just purchase it. So the meal items are already there.
So you copy paste the recipe in the search bar or
No,
something? Oh,
no,
like how you do
no.
that?
You just connect, log into food. network, whatever the recipe site is, and it will send the items
Oh,
over. You don't do anything. You just say put in cart, and it sends it over to your Kroger cart or your Walmart cart, and then you order and they deliver it.
that's next level. Oh, that is next
It's
level.
amazing.
Oh, wow. Okay. I think one of my productivity hack is downstairs in my office, but I bought a little cheap little organizing planner, a productivity planner from Amazon, and it has like the days of the week, and then it has like low priority, high priority, mid priority,
Hmm.
to-do list and just like little stuff like that. And I know you can do this like using like tools like Notion and Monday or Asana and stuff, but I like to write stuff down and I got to see it in multiple spaces. So I have the planner on the desk. At the refrigerator, it has little magnets for me to help me see, okay, I got this coming up. And then write it on the expo marker board and stuff like that as well, because my mind be running a mile a minute, I'll forget. I can have a Google notification and I'll just like, okay, I'm gonna get to it, I'll just swipe up or something. But
Hmm.
I just put stuff in a bunch of different places for me, little productivity tools and something like that. Another thing I got from Amazon to help my churn stay on track is these little boards that got an X and a check, and it's a little toggle switch. So if they try to talk to me and ask me a question, I'm like, go to the board. Is it a check? Is it a check? If not, go get it done. Like I'm trying to eliminate
Oh, they're
conversation.
chores, you mean? Those are for their chores?
Yeah, like for their or like their daily stuff, brush your teeth. So chores,
Hmm.
yeah.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
then yeah, I got one more, but I'm gonna give you space. Go ahead.
No, no, go ahead. Tell the
Oh,
other
and the
one.
last productivity hack I have is using Alexa. I don't know if y'all got like Alexa, whatever, Google Home,
Mhm.
whatever. But I created an Alexa routine. So it starts at 6 o'clock in the morning and the song is gonna play right now. Dress to Impress theme song is playing for my daughter. If y'all know about Dress to Impress on Roblox, y'all feel me, right? So I got the Dress to Impress theme song rolling in at 6 o'clock in the morning, and then I typed out the little AI chat where it'd be like, "Good morning, churn. Good morning. This and that. This and that. Did you brush your teeth? Did you wash your face? Double check. You know what I'm saying?" And then I even talk noise in it, like, "No lunch will be given unto thee until this stuff is done." But I got it all in a routine, like wait 5 minutes, play this song, wait 5 minutes, play this song for 10 minutes or lo-fi jazz or something and whatever up until like 7 o'clock. So by the time it says like have a good day at school, they should have an automated reminder to be able to get their stuff done. Do they listen to it? No, they listen to the music more. But that's another little piece of productivity hack that
That's
I do.
amazing. Literally
Yeah.
amazing. Like, no,
Yeah.
I was trying to get Alexa to play some fun music this morning, and it was like, you should have heard. I was like, Alexa, just turn off. I
Yeah,
don't know
you
what
know
you're
what I'm saying? Like, they'll be like, skip, skip, skip. But just
playing.
go in that little app, go to routine, and just schedule a little routine, play
Oh, I
this
love
type of
that.
fun
So doing
music,
that. I love it.
Yes, yes.
I
Okay.
love that. I'm trying to think of another one that I do. Okay, so I prep my kids. So
Mm.
how they work, my son needs to know everything that is happening in his life. So
Okay.
I daily pre-prep them. When we're going to school, this is what you have to do today. When you get out of school, this is what's going to be happening. Give them a whole rundown. Then when I pick them up from school, I set the expectations while we're driving in the car. This is what I expect from you. That when we get inside, you need to go
Oh,
straight in the bath. You need to put your clothes up. I give them the expectation before we get home.
yeah.
After you get these things done, this is your reward. You can get on the computer, you can watch TV, whatever the expectation is. I pre-prep them every time, every day. It has to happen.
Mm.
Otherwise, it's a whole meltdown. My son has a whole meltdown, and he just does what he wants to do. I don't get my expectations done. So if I pre-prep him,
Mm.
I get what I want done, and he gets his result of getting on the computer. He wants to be on Roblox. So yeah,
I
that's
gotta
what
get
that
his
is my
robot
hack.
ID so he can pay up with my turn too. Okay,
Child.
so like how do you manage being a mother, an entrepreneur, and like business? Like how do you weave your schedule around? Because I know your kids have like after school activities and all of that kind of stuff
Mhm.
like that.
Mhm.
How do you weave all of these things in business to still be able to talk to clients? Like I know today is a light day, but I know we were recording this session today. So like how do you set up your business structure around your children?
So before I was homeschooling them, and during the morning I would homeschool them. Now they go to school, that gives me time to go to the gym. So I go as soon as I drop them at school, I have my gym bag in the car. I go straight to the gym at 8 a.m. And then I work out for just an hour because that's the grace that I'm giving is an hour.
Yeah.
So I get back home, I start working. I work from 9 until 12. I start taking calls. From 12 until about 2 or 3 is when I allow myself my client calls. Then I'm getting ready to go pick them up. I run some errands typically from 3 to 4, and then I pick them up from after school. Then they
Okay.
have activities or whatever they may have going on. They do that from like 4 to 5 or 4 to 6. Then they have dinner, take a bath, get into bed. They're in bed by 6:30, 7 o'clock.
Oh, that's really good.
Yes, ma'am.
That is
Seven
really
o'clock
good.
is the absolutely, I'm screaming in here if they're not in bed by 7 o'clock. Like it's a meltdown for me. I'm like, I'm not making it. Go to bed.
Yeah. Wow. So when do you have time for Janelle?
So that's part of what I'm working on. Um, so at 7 o'clock is what I call mommy time. I turn into Janelle. I am no longer mommy anymore.
Yeah.
So I get some wine, I get a book. I'm working through slowly, the slowest read through of a book ever. Like when I was younger, I could read a book in a day because I had all the time in the world. Now
Yeah.
I get 3 pages done, and I'm like, okay, I read my 3 pages for the day. So that's when I get my time. So I do the gym time in the morning and I get a book in the evening just to kind of wind down and relax my mind.
No, that's really good. I can't think of nothing else at this
What
point.
about you?
What what
How do
about
you integrate everything together? Because your kids have
man?
way more activities than my kids. I'm not
Yeah,
doing all those
so
activities.
I lean on my husband a lot. So for an example, the kids are basketball and gymnastics this season. They're in gymnastics every Thursday. The three of them, because my oldest, he's not into sports and stuff, so he can stay home. He's old enough, at least, to be on the game or whatever. He got a cell phone or whatever. But like on Thursday, when they were all in gymnastics, they were like at different times, and it stressed me out. So I put it all in one day. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Just to maximize that time. Um, I know that they're going to be out the door around 7:40. And now I would do this when it wasn't winter, when it was like snowing and stuff, but like 7:40, once they're out the door, I'm going for a walk. Typically, I walk for about an hour and come back 3 miles minimum. If I feel good, I'll go up to like 5, come home, take a shower, and then I try to knock out clients' calls between 10 to 12. Anything after 12, I'm not gonna have the energy really to deal. But from 10 to 12, sometimes maybe 1, I'll have either a meal or something prepped, or I'll be like, hey, let me make me something to eat, whatever, something quick, something easy. And then I go into the afternoon with straight design. Something that I've learned or I'm learning, my struggle is if I don't finish it, I would try to prolong it. Like, because again, I don't want my yesterday coming into my today. So I would see myself like take my laptop with me to the gymnastics class. I gotta finish this, or still be on my computer like after hours when the kids are home. You know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to learn how to keep that boundary as well. And something that I have to implement is giving myself like clear cut working hours, because I bleed in my day to day constantly. Like if I see a notification in my project management system at 7 o'clock, I'm gonna respond to it. So now I'm like, oh, let me just take this app off my cell phone and keep it on
Hmm.
my desktop. So I gotta do a better job at it. I'm still a little meshed in with it, but I'm learning how to come out and give myself that balance. As far as my time, I ain't too good at that either. Um, so I'm trying to become more intentional about who I am at this point in time. So yeah, I got some work to do. I ain't even gonna lie to you.
We all do. We all do.
Yeah,
It's giving grace.
yeah,
Um, I think that that kind of rolls into our last topic of handling guilt and setting boundaries because I felt like you were like, I don't know how I feel about I kind of feel bad
yeah,
for yeah, and we definitely don't need that. We just have to work on our boundaries a lot. For me, what I do is I block schedule my days.
Yeah.
So once that block ends, the time ends, I have to get off. I know you don't want to take yesterday into today, but sometimes you have to because you have to set that boundary up with your time because your
Yeah.
time is valuable, whether you're working or whether you're having me time. It's very valuable. So setting up clients, like I don't like clients to have my phone number. I just don't personally like for them
Yeah.
because they text you random times, they call you at random times. The other day I had a client calling me. She was asking me all kind of strategy questions. Instead of me telling her, yeah, and it was free. Like, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not in a space to do that anymore. And
Yeah.
so instead of me telling her, I just wrote an email to her and I said, hey, I think we need to have a call and a recorded call. Here's the link to be able to purchase a recorded call with me so we can set up a strategy session and figure out what you need to do next for your
Yeah.
business.
Yeah.
So that way, that's me. I haven't had a call since. So that's me setting up the boundary that this is what we need to happen.
I can say, being in this relationship with you has taught me how to be a little bit more firm. Like, especially with the one of those chat GPT prompts that you gave us that talked about the hidden struggles. Bro,
Hmm.
I was just like, wait a minute. I got read all the way. Like, and I was just like, okay, this is the next step that I have to do. Like I kind of take people pleasing into my business. You know what I mean? And I'm just like, oh, I gotta work on that. You know what I'm saying? Save that for my therapist next session. Um, um, so like talking to you though, as I would ask you questions like, hey, how do you? You were like, girl, if you don't da 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 da, I'm like, oh, you right, like you right. You are so right. So I have gotten a whole lot better. They don't have my phone number. My clients don't have my phone number, but what they do have is the number which is connected to my phone. Using
Mm.
like Zoom or whatever. I have a Zoom phone number. So I was just like, let me just take these things off my phone and start really using the designated spaces. So something that I did was create different spaces in my house for different things. You know what I mean? So if I want to create, I'm going to be up here. I'm going to be here playing the piano, whether that's my me time or if I need to get away from work and just need to like, what I'm saying, clear my mind or whatever. This is that space right here up here for me. When I'm working, and doing meetings, I'm gonna be in the sunroom. I'm gonna be in the light. I'm gonna be in the space that got the flowers and the plants, so I can feel like really energized and like yes, woo woo woo. You know what I'm saying? Whatever woo woo. And then yeah, so like I would have like different like stations for me. So if I'm here, don't bother me. Mommy's in a meeting. You know what I mean? If I'm up here, mommy's creating. Don't bother me or whatever, whatever. But I think that's something that I've done to help me begin to put the right other things in check. Physically, but in the digital space, I would say automations have become like my friend. You know what I mean? Like making the time
Yeah.
to actually create the automations because that's a lot of work. You know what I'm saying? Building the right structure because my business wasn't structured to handle the automations, you know what I'm saying? Or to be able to handle like, hey, leave all of this on Basecamp, which is the project management tool that I use, you know what I'm saying? Or put in Basecamp and like, hey, cut my notifications off at 5 o'clock. Don't remind me of no notifications until 9 o'clock in the morning. Like doing intentional things like that also helps me so that I don't feel like I'm taking that time away from my children or myself even. You know what I mean? I feel like as a mom, we can cater to our children or as partners, you know what I'm saying? We got to cater to our partner, but like I'm making the intentional space 2025 where it was just like I'm doing this for me. Like I'm gonna do this right here for me now. And I'm just figuring what that looks like. And I think it's all gonna make sense when it happens. So
I love that. I love that for you. I think what we need to do now to kind of wrap things up is to do a power play.
oh, power
Power
play.
play. So the first one that I want to give is to create a non-negotiable list.
Mm.
Okay. No, not you have your notebook
You
already.
know what I'm saying? A
Um,
non-negotiable list.
a non-negotiable list for your business and family life, right? So, for example, one thing on my non-negotiable list is my computer. It is non-negotiable for my children to touch this computer.
Mm.
Cannot touch it. We have about 5 gazillion computers in here. Do not touch this particular computer because
Yeah.
this is what I use to make my money.
Hmm.
So I tell them all the time, I cannot feed you if this computer is broken. It is not a toy. Do not play with it. Do not touch it. That is non-negotiable for me.
Yeah.
In my business, it is non-negotiable for people to call me on the phone after hours, after a certain hour is non-negotiable after business hours. So I'm not, so when for my business hours, I understand that I have clients all over, but in California at 8, let's see, 5 o'clock is 8 p.m. That's my last time of taking calls at 8 p.m. After that, I don't want to hear from anybody.
Mm.
There's nothing that is that important. What about you? What are your non-negotiables? Do you have any yet?
I'm gonna do I'm gonna do my power play, and we're gonna get back to that. I
Okay.
don't
Okay.
um no, but I felt you on that one because I did have a client who called me from Texas like at 9 something, and I was just like,
Right.
sir, now, sir, you know what I'm saying? So
Right.
like, I guess like the way I respond would be a non-negotiable, but like I think I gotta think about it, and then I'll come back and I'll give you an
No.
answer. Yeah,
No, no, it's fine. It's fine. Add that to your list, of things we have
yeah.
to do.
So yeah, I
What
get it.
about you? What is your power play for the day?
I like the one where it's like set the work hours with that aligns with your family routines.
Mm,
So for an example, I'm seeing how I'm like moving in that. So one of my power plays with setting that work hours is I don't want to work on the weekends at all.
mm-hmm,
At all because my weekends are crowded with games and stuff. So like I want to make sure that I make it more clear, put that in like in fine writing. Don't
mm-hmm,
contact me. But I'll just like say that that's one of my power play, making sure that if I have games on the calendar, and something that I've done with that is when I put my something on the calendar for the kids or like blot it out, it talks to my system to be like, you can't book that time or block that time. So just making sure that I keep those hours available for my children to belong to my children, and we move from there. So that would be my power play, making sure you set that time for your work routine.
I I would even calendar it. Calendar your children. Because for me personally, if it's not on my calendar, it doesn't happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
So putting them on the calendar and saying, "Hey, this time is dedicated to you guys." Even naming a specific child, because sometimes we have to have individual time with our children, right? So,
Yeah.
hey, this time is dedicated to this child. This time is dedicated to that child. Just I want to throw in a couple more things. Implementing the Pomodoro technique. So you can have a focused work session. So, hey, I work for an hour. You can pick how long you want to work. Hey, I work for an hour, dedicated, no focus, complete in for an hour. 15-minute break, take a break, have a snack, use the bathroom, stretch, do whatever you need to do for that 15 minutes, then come back and work for another hour. And just keep doing that throughout the day till you get your activities done. That's why I do the block scheduling so that I can have that block and say, hey, I'm going to be on the computer working on social media for this hour. Take my 15-minute break. I come back. Now I'm working on client work for an hour, whatever it is. So that way I can get what I need done. And I think the last thing that we wanted to share was automate, what you were talking about, because you already
Yeah.
shared it, automating at least one task. And I need to sit down and do this. The biggest thing that I'm thinking about is my grocery list, is making sure that because I order from Amazon and get it delivered with Amazon Fresh. So having it automatically update what I need, because I buy the same thing. The kids eat the same thing every week, don't they?
Yeah.
Fruits,
Yeah.
vegetables, whatever. I'm going to automate and put it automatically in the shopping cart. So when I come, I just have to click buy and go about my business. Because that grocery shopping, even if I'm not physically there, it seems like it's crazy. It takes me so long to order the groceries through the phone. It's crazy.
Mm. You know, I like this, and I think something that I want to give as a deliverable is to create like a time audit, something that we could attach to
Mhm.
this session. So it will be available by the time you see this. A nice time audit and like automation audit little situation. We can put that in like Notion or something so that people can be able to take that with
Mhm.
them. Because I think it's very important because as you were talking, I have this little like thing where it's like 60 minutes, 15 minutes, little clock, little situation. You can just turn it. And I like have all of
Mhm.
these different tools to help me. But now it's time to like really go into execution or to
Mhm.
like really be whatever, like really go by it. You know what I'm saying? Versus having the stuff and doing it like consistent in it. And so I think we should do like a time audit little something that people can be able to take. Like, how do you spend your time? Where do you spend your time? And how can we budget our time to do different things? So I think that'll be a great uh takeaway from the power plays of the day.
I love that. And I don't think we mentioned this on the last podcast. And is this a podcast? I don't know. Last
I
series,
you
last
serious
session.
session something, you know? Yes.
That we are setting up consultations. So if you guys want to have a conversation about anything that you want to talk about, we have a link that'll be included in this that you guys can click on and schedule a time. It will be with both of us because we want to make sure that we cover you and make sure that you get every aspect. And our brains work differently, right? So you're going to
Yes.
get different things from Triel than you're going to get from me. And that way we'll cover you holistically and you'll get everything that you need out of a consultation with us. And we want to make sure that you are able to go to the next level. So if you're interested in that, click on the link, book the time, and let's chat.
In the bib. Yes. That's
Is
good.
there anything else, Triel, before we wrap this on up today?
No, I don't have anything. This is really good. You was helping me get my life. You were snatching my edges, girl. Like, yes, this is good. I don't have
I'm
nothing.
enjoying this, guys. Thank you so much for listening, watching, whatever you're doing. We appreciate you being here, and we look forward to our next session in the black.
In the black, y'all. Bye.
Bye.